Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel, Creating with Christine. I'm Christine and I'm excited to share with you today my Elegant Pine Snowflakes Scrapbooking Workshop Kit. That's a mouthful. I do have the guide available separately for purchase alone. If you have supplies or want to use other items from your stash, you can purchase that separately. Or if you like to have everything you need in one simple kit, this is what you will want. So inside your kit, I have supplies that are used, some extras and tools that you may want to grab. And then I have your papers arranged in order of the cutting guide, which is also attached. And then I have pre-cut pieces and base pages and flip-flaps and any extras already done for you by layout in your kit here. So we have three layouts 1, 2, and 3 here. In this kit, the die cuts are already done for you, and the larger ones are placed with each layout, and then I have a little baggie of all the little pieces so they don't get lost. So that is your kit. Let's take a look at the layouts. Here is layout 1, which includes a flip-flap on the right-hand page so that you can have more photos and journaling inside there. There's a place for journaling over here as well as over here if you would like. You can also add photos in those areas if you would prefer. The Cricut cuts are done for you, and the die cuts. You can see how they're just clustered on this page here. A couple of things that you may or may not be familiar with. So we've got some splattering in the background. This is white cardstock. So sometimes when you have a layout with a lot of white space, rather than just filling it with stuff, you can just kind of splatter it, or you can use a blending brush and some ink just to give it some texture, character. But in this case, we're going to try splattering. So I want to show that to you really quick. For this page, I'm using Secret Sea ink and a water brush. Now, normally you would squeeze together the ink pad and the lid to transfer some ink to the inside, but I've tried that and either my hands aren't strong enough or this is just not bending very much. So I'm going to take my brush and just kind of transfer some ink over here and make this my palette. So, and then I'm going to squeeze the brush just to get a little more, to make it more fluid and juicy. And then I like to take something strong, like metal. It just seems to work better. You can tap with your finger, and with different tools, you'll get different small dots, larger dots. You can get close, far away if you want more of a splatter. But just to give you an example, you'll just tap this, hold it down, and you'll want to use a box because it does tend to spray out. And I don't have very much on here, but you can do as much or as little as you want. And you can kind of see, maybe I should lift it out here. There's some variation in color. There's some darker, lighter spots. So in any case, you can cover as much or as little as you want for your paper. Another fun technique we're going to be using in this workshop is taking our clear sparkles and coloring them with our alcohol markers. So you can see here hopefully where I've colored some just in the background here. A little more difficult to see on the darker papers, but I just pulled colors that are in the layout, in the pattern paper. And so I've got my Secret Sea, Mossy Meadow, Old Olive, and Cherry Cobbler. And basically you can use either tip, the brush end or the bullet. I tend to prefer the brush tip. And you'll just go around the outside edge and on the top. And it's alcohol, so it dries quickly. But I'll just do a couple here to show you. And do it while it's still on the carrier sheet because it's just easier to work with that way. And one more lighter green and one more darker with the Mossy Meadow. And I'll just hold these up for you to kind of see hopefully you can see those colors there. It may not translate well on the camera, but you can leave them clear. They'll come in your kit clear, but if you have the Stampin' Up! Markers, you can pull those colors in. If you have other markers, just grab colors that would coordinate with the layout. One more thing, I like to use a piercing tool or some other tool that you may have lying around to lift underneath, and then you can easily see where to place it and then press it down in place. I find it easier than using my fingers or tweezers, so I just want to pass that tip along. Layout 2 also has a flip flap on the right hand page and a section for journaling if you would like. There's also ribbon, the green and gold ribbon, and I like to use glue dots if I'm using ribbon, and so I would just add a glue dot on the back on either side here, and then wrap it across the front. If you want to add 1 or 2, you can, but usually it's fine because you're going to stick it in your page. It's going to stay there, but you could add a few here if you wanted to as well. There's also ribbon on the other side and in these 2 sections as well. In your kit, you will have 2 smaller pine branches with pine cones and then 2 larger ones. These look different, so they're not the same, but I wanted to show you what you'll do is you'll take one and cut off the branch of both sides of one of them. And then what I did was I just added some dimensionals or foam tape to put underneath to pop it up there. And then you have these extra branches to kind of tuck in over here. And the same with this side. So you'll have your pine cones raised up here and your extra branches over here. So just wanted to kind of bring that to your attention. You also have those colored sparkles on here, colors of your choice. And if you can tell, there's some white splattering in the background here on this old olive paper. So let me show you that. So here I have the Stampin' Up! White pigment ink, and you'll need some kind of a palette. I'm just going to use a block here. And I should have said earlier for the ink we used on layout 1, if you had a Secret C re-inker or another color of your choice, you could use that instead of the ink pad. I just didn't, so that's why I did. So you don't need that much. You can always add more if you need it. I've got my water brush again that I cleaned after using it. And I'm just going to squeeze out some water because right now it's very thick and I want it to be spreadable. Okay, so now I've got my little puddle here and I'm going to grab my scissors again and splatter in the box because, oop, I got some big old dots there. This is really, it always helps to practice first. See, I'm just showing you what not to do, right? I am very good for showing you what not to do. Okay, so I have way too much water on here, but maybe you want big snowflakes. So let me pull this out so you can see it a little better. Yeah, the more water, the more loose, and the more you grab on your brush, the bigger the dots. So you probably don't want those big dots. This is more like the splatter that you want. So yeah, just practice ahead of time on some scrap paper until you get the hang of it and you get the look that you're trying to achieve. And finally, layout 3 is the simplest of all. We've got the colored sparkles spread around here, and you'll have a gold metal ring for this side, and you'll have these loose branches. And then I just use glue dots to attach them, and then you just slightly overlap. I don't know if you can see here, just slightly tuck in the end of that one under this branch and tuck in there. So just kind of tuck them around each other to form the wreath and add your bow. This can be a journaling spot, or you could also put photos there. I did not include a flip flap on this side, but of course you always can, especially if you have more photos than you have space on your page. So that is it. I hope you, if you purchased this kit, I hope that you enjoyed putting the pages together. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. Thanks for watching.